Numerous sources have reported over the last couple of days that the Chinese automakers and legacy automakers in China are doing something that's really hurting a lot of dealerships. There's been reports that thousands of dealerships have been forced to close. Now, this did happen last year as well, and apparently it's happening again this year. Chinese auto dealers on Tuesday have called on manufacturers. This is not on just Chinese brands. This is also on, probably even more so, on brands like Nissan, Toyota, Volkswagen, Audi, BMW, etc. They're calling on them to stop offloading so many cars on dealerships as intense price wars are pressuring their cash flow, driving down their profitability and forcing them to declare bankruptcy, and many of them to shut. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. I have been in China a few times recently. I've got to admit, I did see a number of, I guess you'd call them show stores and dealerships that were gathering dust. And I was always a bit surprised by it. But remember, China is a big place. And just because I saw that didn't mean it was reflective of what was happening all over the entire country. So I didn't really know the extent of what was happening. These car dealerships are basically saying, we're in a bit of a crisis right now. And conditions facing car dealers have become even more severe, says Reuters, amid a new round of hefty discounting as a result of BYD discounting 25 different models in the second quarter, says the China Auto Dealers Chamber of Commerce in a statement. This is from the Chinese, basically from the Chinese government. They're saying this is not a good situation. Automakers should set reasonable annual production and sales targets and should not transfer inventory to dealers and force them to stockpile cars, the chamber proposed on Tuesday. I know that many of you won't like me saying this because when you become a brand fan, it's really, really hard to separate your personal feelings from the objectivity of the situation. But the truth is, it's not just one brand doing this, but one brand is doing this worse than any other at this point in time. And reports from China say that that is BYD. There's numerous reports saying that BYD dealers are under immense pressure and they just have way too many cars. And that's the reason why BYD have been very aggressive in their sales targets this year. They want to increase their sales. But the thing is, they're getting frustrated because companies like Geely, their sales are up 180%, and BYD sales are growing. Well, they're growing, but significantly slower and not at the rate BYD want them to grow at. So dealers are saying we're in a crisis situation. We have way too many cars. We're just overflowing with cars. BYD then comes out and discounts prices massively by 10 to 34% after already discounting prices several times last year. And now the margins are razor thin. The cycle of payments to dealers should be shortened, and dealers shall not be coerced to withdraw from the network and close their stores in the name of optimizing network channels, said the Chinese government. A large dealer of Chinese electric vehicle maker BYD's cars in the eastern province of Shandong, 22 of them, went out of business with at least 20 of its stores found to be deserted or shut, local media said. And the issue here was that a lot of people have even bought cars, not taken delivery yet, or they're concerned about they've actually paid for things for their cars and they're not going to get what they've paid for. So that's the issue there. Dealers have actually responded. They've said that they have issued a number of recommendations for industry reform, urging automakers to stop confusing consumers with frequent, very, very frequent price changes and to set reasonable annual production and sales targets that are aligned with actual demand. They also warned manufacturers to stop offloading excess inventory. So this story has been reported by numerous different media organizations around the world, and it does appear to be legitimate. There's definitely people on the ground in China saying, yeah, this is a big issue. How will this play out? How will this affect the automotive industry in China? Well, one thing we know for sure, car sales in China this year, they've grown a little bit, but not much. But sales from companies like Leapmotor, Xpeng, and also Geely and BYD to a lesser extent, they've all skyrocketed. There's companies as a result, legacy automakers that are being bashed. And the truth is, we need to have a look at the sales prices of cars that are made by Toyota, Nissan, and other brands, legacy brands in China. Look at the prices. Look, Toyota is selling a Model Y rival for $14,000. That's even cheaper than what BYD sells their Model Y, significantly cheaper. There is massive discounting going on in China, and it's not just BYD. It's numerous car brands, particularly legacy automakers. They're trying to get market share back. They're bringing their car prices out. I've done videos on this. You guys have seen them. If you've been watching the channel, you've seen some of the prices. I've been like going, what the hell is this? Nissan's new EV, $16,000 for their new sedan. Pricing so low. I mean, if you think all the media keep saying this stuff over and over, Tesla sparked a price war. Look at the price of the Tesla Model 3. It's like 32. It's double the price of the Nissan's rival. Double the price. I mean, yeah, Tesla, this whole narrative that Tesla has done this is completely false. I don't have any Tesla stock. I've got nothing Tesla don't pay me anything. I've got nothing, no reason to benefit from this. But I think we need to focus on the truth here. Legacy automakers are doing this. There's also some car manufacturers in China doing this. And it's ultimately driving the price of EVs down. It's been great for consumers, but it might not be in the long term because they may not get warranties on their cars. More bankruptcies will have to occur as a result of this squeeze. And in the long run, this might end up hurting consumers. How do you feel? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Bye-bye. I personally had an experience with BYD recently, and it was a pretty bad experience, to tell you the truth. It was, it wasn't the end of the world, but it mirrored others' experiences here in Australia. And I'm talking about the media. I'm talking about journalists. I'm talking about our interactions with BYD, the company, which have been honestly shockingly bad. And I'll tell you what happened towards the end of the video. But first, this is a story that kind of confirms that communication at BYD appears to be a global problem, not just an Australian problem. Car News China has just reported that a major BYD network in China has collapsed. We're talking numerous stores. There's been reports recently that many dealerships, not just BYD dealerships, but car dealerships in general in China are struggling. Last year, I believe 2,000 dealerships actually ceased to exist. Porsche has shut down around half of their dealerships. But BYD dealerships, a lot of them are having a bit of a tough time. There's a lot of inventory. They can't take more vehicles. As a result, BYD have reduced prices. And here's the ramifications of what's been happening. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to have you with us. I want to say a big thank you to our Patreon supporters and YouTube members. If you'd like to join us as a YouTube member, I'll put a link in the description. There is a new member video up today. BYD's core dealer network in Shandong province has been experiencing a severe operational crisis since April 2025. More than 20 BYD branded 4S dealerships across the province have abruptly closed or suspended operations, leaving showrooms empty and customers without service. Now, I've been to China a few times and I've seen the stores. A lot of these stores, they're not like major dealerships. China doesn't really operate in that way. They're a little different. They do have major dealerships.